The track is bathed in bright sunshine here in Coimbatore. And while it's bathed in really bright sunshine, you are expecting red-hot racing action because we head into the fourth and final round of the KOVAI FMSCI National Racing Championship. This weekend is going to be an action-packed race weekend with races across the three race categories. We've got some of the best drivers and bikers from across the country who've congregated to take part in those three race categories. You've got the KOVAI Presents Royal Enfield Continental GT Cup. You've also got action in the KOVAI Novice Cup, and don't forget action in the KOVAI Formula LGB4 category. But to start off proceedings in the race weekend, the fourth and final race weekend, we've got the first race of day one, and that's going to be the KOVAI Presents Royal Enfield Continental GT Cup, where the biker who starts off on pole position is the biker who's leading the overall championships as well in terms of the standings. You've got Anish Damodar Shetty, who is the championship leader. He's got a 5-point gap between himself and Alwyn Xavier. Anish, it's been a good 3 rounds. Time to clinch it now.
Yeah, we'll be going all out for the race and just focus on the race and try to finish it on the top with the God's grace.
You know, we've seen over the last couple of rounds that the start tends to just be a little slow for you, and then it's almost as if you let the competition catch up with you before you pull out the best from the bag towards the final laps.
Yeah, I mean, like, it's a little bit of clutch conservation for the race, so it's very important to make sure that the bike is running good for the next 10 laps.
Well, go well. I'm sure you got your sights focused on the championship. Go well.
Thank you so much.
Well, he's definitely in the hunt overall as far as being crowned the first ever KOVAI Presents Royal Enfield Continental GT Cup champion. But there is, of course, Alwyn Xavier, who's giving him a stiff challenge race after race. 5 points separate the two of you going into this final round, Alwyn.
Yeah, I'm just focused on this race. I have to give my best and hope my tires and brakes hold up to it.
Well, we've seen some close battles between you and Anish. What's been the one aspect you would like to work on to get to that the winner's position?
Consistency. That's what I say. Consistency. I want to improve on my consistency because braking, how braking pressure I apply, like that. Everything.
Well, you've been very consistent by being on the podium regularly. You're talking about consistency through the race. Go well. That's Alwyn Xavier for you. He starts off on P2. P1, remember, is where Anish Damodar Shetty starts off on. He is the championship leader as well. But just shaking things up. You look at these two who've been pretty much, the go-to guys in the championship so far. So what are your thoughts starting off on pole position on the front row?
I just want to enjoy the race, have fun, and finish on the podium.
Well, go well. You've got a clear sight of the racetrack ahead of you, starting off in the front row. So I'm sure you can make the most of it.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
That's the way it stands, of course, as far as the KOVAI Presents Royal Enfield Continental GT Cup. I talked about the fact that how Anish Shetty has been one of the most dominant forces in this category per se. He's gone on and registered win after win. Remember, there was one race in which he picked up a 30-second penalty, and that's what, in the end, took away a race win from him. But the fact that there's just 5 points separating him and Alwyn Xavier going into the first race of the final round, I think he'd like to do his best to notch up another race win and open the gap a little more between himself and Alwyn. But Alwyn's got a great chance here, remember. If he can pip Anish to the post, get to the checkered flag first, it'll make for a very interesting and exciting final race of this race category that's going to happen tomorrow. But that said, you look at what's happening on the second and third rows as well. Remember, there are a couple of other bikers who've done exceedingly well, who've pulled up their socks. Whether you talk about Anfal Akhtar, he's gone well over the last few rounds. So it promises to be a very exciting race. Time for me to clear the racetrack. You can hear the whistles going. Very soon you're going to hear the engines roaring as these powerful bikes that weigh over 180 kgs hit the racetrack. It's over to Karthikeya, who's there in the commentary box.
Thank you, Raman, and a very, very warm welcome to the live coverage of the KOVAI FMSCI National Racing Championship, the 24th edition. That's the starting grid with Anish Damodar Shetty starting at P1, Alvin Xavier alongside him at P2. Then you got Mika Viduraj at P3, Rajkumar Pradeep and Anfal Akhdar locking up the second row. Then Sudhir Sudhakar, Bharat Balan and Jayant Pradipati in third row. Then you got Raivat Dhar, the lad from Jammu and Kashmir, along with Rohit Lad and Naresh Kaname. Lokesh, Varun and Varad More will lock up row number 5, followed by Srinidhi, Harshad Sumra and Sandeep Gorai, while Amar Katkar will be starting way back off this grid. As Raman said, only 5 points separating the championship leader and the chaser. That's Anish Shetty who's leading, and only 5 points between him and Alvin Xavier. Remember, Anish can seal it right now in this very race if he wins and Alvin doesn't finish in the top 4. But we'll have to wait and watch. Off they go for the formation lap. 1 lap formation followed by 10 laps of racing, no overtaking allowed, and well, it is bright and sunny, as Raman said earlier on. In fact, it's around 32 degrees. The temperature here fairly hot, and the track temperature obviously is going to be a little bit more than that. It's going to be a very keenly contested category. This could be sealed right now in this very race, but I think Alvin Xavier will certainly have other plans, and he will want to take it down to the wire, to the last race of this season. That'll be tomorrow. Joining me from the trackside now in the commentary box is Raman Manod. Welcome back, Raman. It is a bit hot out there, isn't it?
More than a bit, Karthik, and I'm sure the bikers are going to be feeling it as well as the race progresses. Here, I think, is just focus and consistency. That's something that even Alvin Xavier was talking about, to be consistent through the race. He's been one of the most consistent bikers through the championship, which is the reason why that he's still in contention, you know, for the title, 5 points adrift. But as you said, it could very well be settled today itself. But for that, you'll have, you know, some very interesting permutations and combinations that'll have to come into play. For one, just to put things into perspective, I think Anish Shetty is going to have to win this one. He's, if he notches up, you know, 10 points from a race win today, and Alvin Xavier doesn't finish in the top 3, then see the championship getting decided as far as this category is concerned. But I think Alvin Xavier starts off that he's thinking about finishing outside the, you know, the top 4. He's thinking about a race win today.
Absolutely, and I think that's what he'd want. I think Alvin, as you said, Alvin would want to take it down to the last race, while Anish would want to get this done and dusted right now. Very exciting, right at the top as far as the championship race is concerned between the two. Then you've got the likes of Anfal Akhdar as well, but he's not in the mix of things with the championship is concerned, because only 20 points are now available. He's in mid-20s, if I'm correct, 26 or 24. He's on 36 points, so mathematically Anfal can do it. Then you've got the likes of Sudhir Sudhakar and Rajkumar with 22 points each in 4th and 5th, and Jayant Pradipati with 14 points coming in 6th. So if Anish and Alvin don't get any points from the races today and tomorrow, and Anfal wins both of them, he can mathematically also go on and win the championship.
You're just talking about a whole lot of permutations and combinations that look good on a stats sheet, Karthike. But on the racetrack, I'm sure all these bikers are trying to put their best foot forward. There's an extra formation lap that the bikers are doing, and you know what is worrying for the fans of Anish Damodar Shetty is that you can't see his bike on the racetrack just yet. Remember, he was the one who was starting off on pole, on bike number 17, and I can't see his bike on the track just yet. So
I think at the end of the first formation lap, he was slowing down and the others had overtaken, and there you see he is not there at P1 at the moment. Hopefully he will come back and join. There you see bike number 10, Alvin Xavier. He won't mind if there is no Anish Shetty in the race.
Yeah, there's Meka Viduraj who's on P3, remember. But I get a feeling here that it could possibly be a lot of times that you see Anish Damodar Shetty just stay back after the formation lap, when the formation lap starts, and lets all the other bikers pass him. And then when they line up for the final grid, that's when he rejoins the rest of the pack and comes right to the top. And you can see him now on bike number 17.
That's exactly what he's done. He's now starting at P1 is Anish Damodar Shetty. This is going to be very, very interesting. All the bikers have now lined up. The formation lap is done. The extra formation lap is probably pushes him to go on and be a little more faster.
And as he also said, Kartikeya, during that interaction, that he wants to conserve the clutch. He doesn't want to put in too much on the clutch early on in the race. It's a 10-lap race, all right. So he lets the wear and tear of the clutch happen more gradually as the race progresses, rather than go for a burnout early on in the race. This, of course, is how they started. You can see the grid positions. This is the grid position that they were in when the lap began. But as you can see right now, it's Mika Viduraj on bike number 4, who's the race leader in the slipstream. Here's Anish Shetty. Will he make a move on the straight?
Well, he's certainly coming in from the outside now is Mika, and he maintains that race lead, doesn't he? Anish is closely following him in second, while you got Alvin Xavier in third. Anfal Akhtar at the moment, as he's moved up to third. Alvin's dropped down to fourth, and Anish Damodar Shetty during that time has wrestled the lead back away, so he's now leading the race. That's what happened. Took the risk, just couldn't brake and went slightly wide. Could have been dangerous for a moment. You almost lost the balance there, did Alvin Xavier, but good for him. Kept his hands strong and maintained the balance of the bike, and then got back onto the track. Well, there you see bike number 17. That's the championship leader now leading this race. He's taken the lead away from Mika Viduraj, who's now in second. While Anfal Akhtar, he's clocked the fastest lap of the race so far, 1 minute 18.163 seconds. He's in third, while Alvin, that one slight mistake has cost him a bit. He started at P2, he's dropped down to P4. So the battle between Anfal and Alvin will also be quite interesting.
Oh yes, and I think he's got to be considering himself very lucky that he's still in the race, Alvin Xavier. When he went off the track onto the gravel, that was really, really tricky. For the moment though, it's Anish Shetty who's now looking to pull away from Mika Viduraj. He's the race leader, and he's clocked a time of 1 minute 17.743, which is the fastest lap time. And in fact, look at Alvin Xavier, he's clocked a good lap time as well, 1 minute 17.755. It's the second fastest that's come in. It's coming from Alvin Xavier, who's currently fourth, and Anish Shetty, the fastest lap time, and he's the race leader.
Well, that's something that we've seen throughout the season as well. The start is not as great as he would have liked, but as the race progresses, he continues lap after lap. First of all, get the lead and then keep that lead with him, and in fact stretch that lead between himself and whoever is second. Alvin Xavier has put in a very good lap, under 1 minute 18 seconds, and he wants to climb back as well. He's in fact moved up to third now. There's Alvin Xavier, bike number 10, pushing Anfal Akhtar back down to fourth, while Mika Viduraj is sandwiched between the two championship chasers. That is Anish and Alvin. There's bike number 17 of Anish Shetty, followed by Mika Viduraj and Alvin Xavier. This is going to be a big test of character for Alvin Xavier as well, because he almost, as Raman said, lost out in this race. He must have been thanking his stars to still be out there on the track and completing, and now he will do everything in his power to try and catch up with Mika Viduraj. And now again another fastest lap, this time from Alvin Xavier, 1 minute 17.419, and he's moved up to 3.
Yes, and let's take a look at what happened there. Now, I'd just like to remind all viewers, this bike weighs over 180 kgs. It's not a lightweight bike, and when you're off the track onto the gravel, uneven ground, where your tires aren't getting that kind of grip, and the bike wobbles the way it did.
And at that speed as well.
At that speed, it was...
Mika, under half a second, and the overall gap between Anish and Alvin is in fact under a second. So he's certainly doing his best to catch up with the race leader as we come through the final corner of yet another lap. Halfway through this race, 5 laps gone. Anish Shetty continues to lead, followed by Mika Viduraj and Alvin Xavier there.
Try tried something different there. If you look back at that previous lap coming down the straight, Alvin Xavier tried to go wide and took the inside line because the other bikers were taking the outside line. He wasn't really getting a clear sight of track. Then came in and rejoined late by going into C1. Not that it helped a lot.
In fact, he's lost out a few meters, to be honest. Good battle going on for 1 and 2 there. Initially there was pressure from Anish on Mika. Now it's Mika who's on the tails of Anish. He's not letting it go as well. So this is great to see that it's not just a 2-horse race. You've got others as well putting pressure on the championship leader. Very, very entertaining stuff here at the Curry Motor Speedway. Remember, we spoke about the temperatures. There's about a good wind blowing across the motorway, the Curry Motor Speedway, and that's about 18 kilometers an hour. That's the rate at where the wind is blowing. So certainly that also does have a bit of bearing. So as a biker, as a driver, you have to adjust to those things as well. Small little technical details, but they matter a lot.
Another lap that's gone by. Remember, we talked about how Alvin Xavier and Anish Damodar Shetty are involved in a two-way battle at the top in terms of the overall standings. Remember, Mika Viduraj of Hyderabad, this young biker failed to be amongst points in round 1, but 10 points in round 2, picked up another 4 in round 3. A lot of times he's pressed hard. There have been times when he's failed to convert those starts into podium points, say.
Today as well, when you look at Mika where he starts, he started at P3, and by the end of the race, if he doesn't finish on those podium places, he'd be a tad bit disappointed, because he does, like you spoke to him, Raman, you have a clear sight when you start, and that's very important for someone who's looking for a good start, and he did eventually get a good start, but only for Anish Shetty to take it away in lap number 2, and he's maintained that lead now as Anish, as you can see on your screen, bike number 17, is cruising the Mercedes. When you've got different, they all have the same bike. They all have the same bike. It's just how you tweak it to your liking.
And of course, your own skill and the racing lines that you keep, the nitty-gritties that you're talking about, when to brake, when to use the momentum that you've garnered going into the corners, how late do you brake, what kind of racing line you keep. But for the moment, it seems as if Alvin Xavier's fallen off the pace. He was, in fact, at one point in time, in a cluster of top 3. Now the top 2 have broken away. Anish Shetty and Mika Viduraj seem to be involved in a battle of their own. And it seems that the lad from Hubli, Anish Shetty, looks good for probably notching up another race win and adding 10 points to the kitty.
I'll take him to 60. And it seems that the safety car has come out. Just get that confirmation. You can see the yellow flags in the background. Has Alvin had an incident? Because he wasn't that far behind. Because now you see it's just the front 2 with Anish and Mika, and Alvin is about good 4.5 seconds. So it is. He's still there at the moment from the information that we're getting from the race monitor that we have. But look at that, miles, nothing behind the 2. Then you see the third bike coming in. It's a battle between Anish and Mika. And can Mika Viduraj do an Anish Shetty and pip him in the final lap?
Well, let's just put things into perspective. The gap between the top 2 is just half a second. The gap between the top 2 and the third biker is almost close to about 3.5 to 4 seconds. How far behind Alvin Xavier is. And then there's a cluster of another 2 bikers. Anfal Akhtar and Rajkumar are pretty much fighting it out for the 4th position. And those 2 are almost 4.5 seconds behind Alvin Xavier. And then there's Sudhir Sudhakar, who is way behind Rajkumar as well, almost 6.5 seconds behind. So it's a very staggered field, and the times that I've just shared with you are for only the top 6.
Hoping to finish in the podium position in the top 3 so that he can keep the championship race alive.
Absolutely. Because if Anish Shetty wins this one, which it...
Let's make up with Raj. Brilliant from the young lad.
And you can see the exultation, that the celebration, the fist pumping. Oh, look at that. It's a photo finish. And it's a photo finish that Mika Viduraj will remember for a very, very long time to come. The young boy who got a chance to start off in the front row. He was on P3. Now getting congratulated by a fellow biker as well. What a fantastic finish that turned out to be. A photo finish where Meka Viduraj tips Anish Shetty to the checkered flag.
This is absolutely brilliant. So now we were thinking that if Alvin comes in third and Anish wins it, then there'll be a 9-point gap, keeping the championship alive. Now that he's come in second and he's come in third, the gap is now just 7 points. So still the championship is alive. You can see he's enjoyed that race win as Meka Viduraj on bike number 4. He is delighted, and he should be. You know, had the race lead at a point of time. In fact, in the second lap, it was Anish who took the race lead away from him, and from that point on, he never gave up. Till the very last corner, this is where it all happened. Till the very last corner, he put a lot of pressure on Anish, and when he got his chance, he made sure that he capitalized on it, and they're almost going to get into each other's way, but this is what matters. Doesn't matter where you are throughout the race. It matters where you are when the checkered flag is waved. And as Raman said, a photo finish. Centimeters, inches between the two, and there you see there is Meka Viduraj who takes the checkered flag, and well, that's one for the ages. He will remember this race win for a very, very long time. Excellent.
And I also think he might get a thank you note from Alvin Xavier saying, great, you shaved off a 2-point extra lead that Anish Shetty might have had over me had he gone on and won the race.
That's why they say it is as exciting as it gets when it comes to the JK Tyre presents Royal Enfield Continental Cup. Tremendous. The Alvin be a bit disappointed. There you go. He's still enjoying it, and why should he not? What a race win for him. And this, I think, obviously this is the race weekend going on, so there won't be any party, but maybe on a Sunday night later on, he will certainly be enjoying. And you can see, it seems that, throughout the season, Raman, you said that, he's had good starts, he's had, he's been thereabouts, but did not win too many races. I think he just got one race win. If we go through all the, but now he's done that. I think there are times that, there is that little mental barrier that you have to break. He had 10 points. Race for the championship is still alive. The final race of this category will be tomorrow, where you got 10 points for grabs. Wow, what a start to the weekend. What a start to the weekend. Final corner, final lap, and Meka Viduraj says, here I am. Bikers going through the mandatory weighbridge post the completion of the race. And it's good for motorsports, it's good for bike racing as well, that you have such young talented bikers coming up, not being unfazed, and despite losing the race lead to the championship leader, to Anish, he never gave up. With Meka Viduraj, he believed in himself, put a lot of pressure on Anish throughout the race, and when he got that slightest of chance, he made sure he did not let himself down, and he got that race win. Brilliant from Meka Viduraj, your race winner. Thankfully, a rather incident-less race, but a rather entertaining one as well. We had Alvin Xavier go off the track, onto the gravel, and a tremendous photo finish. We're talking about all this. Well, let's very quickly take you through the highlights and see what all had happened. So after an extra formation lap, we kick off the weekend is the leading up that was starting off the fourth and final weekend of the 24 JK Tyre FMSCI National Racing Championship. Was a bit of a problem at the start. They had one formation lap. Then this is what they had, the second formation lap as well, the extra formation lap. For a moment we thought Anish Shetty might not start the race, but he came back, and then when the race started, it was a very, very good start for Alvin Xavier along with Mika Viduraj. You see on the first corner, Mika Viduraj there taking the race lead. This is a corner that's troubled quite a few bikers and racers. It was, as you can see, Mika coming in first, Alvin Xavier in second, and in fact Anish Damodar in second and Alvin in third, followed by Anfal Akdar. That lead for Mika Viduraj did not last very long as Anish Damodar Shetty made his move. That's the moment when Alvin Xavier almost lost his balance and lost his chance as far as the championship would have been concerned. But to be thanking the stars that he's back on the track, and this is where Anish Damodar Shetty took the race lead away. This was as early as round 2, and following him was Mika Viduraj. Despite losing the race lead, coming in second, wasn't disheartened, made sure that he was there. He was there with a chance at the end. And you see every lap passing by, we saw Anish stretching that gap a bit, putting in the fastest lap as well at a point of time, about 1 minute 17.463 if I'm correct. That was the fastest lap that he had put in. And at this point it was looking like it will be Anish who will take the checkered flag. Was gliding through this Coimbatore Speedway like a hot knife through butter, absolutely comfortable, and the gap, you can see the gap between him and Mika Viduraj there was about half a second, but Mika did not let it go. The battle was tremendous, coming in through towards the back straight. Now onto this corner. These are the corners where Mika had the opportunity to go on and nick it, but obviously the gap, as you can see, was a bit big. And then onto the final corner of the final lap, he made his move, did Mika Viduraj, and here you see photo finish and taking the checkered flag. Brilliant, absolutely brilliant from Mika Viduraj. Had the belief in him that he can still catch up with Anish Damodar Shetty. All he needed was the slightest of windows to do it, and he got that at the final corner and clocking up his first race win of the season was Mika Viduraj. Alvin Xavier, I'd be a tad bit disappointed. Thankfully for him, it is Mika who's won the race and not Anish Damodar Shetty, so that still keeps him as far in the hunt as far as the Bikers Championship is concerned. He's on 51 points, while Anish, who's got 8 now, is on 58. 7 points the difference between the two. There's Anish Damodar Shetty. Great camaraderie between the entire crew of the JKSI Presents Royal Enfield Continental Cup. And the race winner now taking the top spot on the podium. Championship, the Bikers Championship, and presenting your race winner, Mika Viduraj. A check of rupees 10,000 to Alvin Xavier for coming in third. Check of 20,000 for Anish coming in second. He's not used to that amount. He's used to the one that's coming in now. 30 grand for the race winner. He'll have to settle for 20 this time, Anish. But what a moment for Mika Viduraj. Richer by 30,000 and a first race win of the season. Keeps the Bikers Championship alive as well. What a start. What a start to the finale, the final weekend of the 24th JK MSCI National Racing Championship. Absolutely thrilling and going down right to the wire.
Always first and foremost, it's
very early and like that.
that's why you slipped off the pace. We saw that you slipped off the pace after catching up with the rest of the guys. But my quick question to you is, what were the thoughts going through your mind when your bike wobbled on the rough, when you had actually gone off the track onto the gravel? What are the thoughts?
Actually, the same thing happened to me towards this weekend in practice, official practice and unofficial. So it was quite normal, I guess.
How to handle things.
Close the throttle, agent on the end, like that.
The championship's still alive. Go well in the final race.
Thank you, thank you.
Let's have a quick chat with Anish Chetty. Anish, well, you had a great chance to take a 9-point lead. Had you notched up a race win, but that final lap with Meka was quite something.
Yeah, I mean, I had to think of the bigger picture with the championship at stake. I thought, it's better to get a few points rather than not getting anything home. So I pretty much got the pace for a 4 to 5 laps and then had to ease off a little bit and take it easy. When it came to the last couple of laps, I saw Mika right behind me. He had a good pace staying along, and I didn't want to risk it at any cost. So when I saw his bike coming up, I just had to see out the championship.
That's what
I thought if I have some extra, edge in the last laps, I thought I could push. So I was there behind him, until the last lap. I got the chance and I made him move.
What was different today compared to all the other races that you had so far in the championship?
I think suspension setup. I was struggling before. And in this round, I was riding in the practice, trying different setups, which worked, and I really felt comfortable. Here I am.
Congratulations, savor the win. Of course, one more race to go. Looking forward to a great showing there as well. That's it as far as the presentation area is concerned. We've got another race coming up, and that's going to be very, very exciting. Let's head over to the racetrack.
So that was Raman Manor catching up with the race winners of the first race of the final weekend, and that was the Jigadai Presents Royal Enfield Continental GT Cup. And what a start that we've seen. Mika Viduraj notching up that race win. And coming up next is the JK Tyre Novice Cup race, the second race of the weekend, first of this category. It will be like the Continental Cup, a 10-lap race. As far as the championship is concerned in this category, it is pretty much in...
Alva, who starts off on pole position, under 3 minutes to go. And Ruhan, remember, has got a great chance to seal the championship if he wins this race right here, right now. Without further ado, I'll hand it back to Karthik Yasin, who's in the comm box, because this race is just about to get underway in a few moments from now.
Thank you, Raman. So under 3 minutes to go, just about 2 minutes to go before we start this race. It's Ruhan Alva who starts at P1. His teammate Jaden Parriott at P2. Then you got Naeem Rizvi in P3. Aditya Parasuram in P4. Aman Nagdev in P5. Chetan Siraneni in P6. Then you got Advait Jampa and Adit Parashar in the 4th row. Vineet Kumar along with Gaurav Kochar in the 5th row. Dhruv Goswami and Dillon Zasharia starting in the 6th row. Kamal Karanjike will be starting at P13, followed by Prarthana Murugavel in P14. Then you got Sivesh Selvaratnam in P15. Prabhanj Paruchari in P16, followed by David Rayan Ravin in P17. Akash Nandagauli in P18. Rishit Nisar P19, followed by Akshit Kumaran in P20. So it's a full grid, all 20 racers taking part in this race. That's the opening race of this category in this weekend. Remember, we have 3 races today. One's done. This is the second one. That'll be followed by the LGV Formula 4. And then for the grand finale tomorrow is an action-packed day. So off they go for the formation lap. And that will be followed by 10 laps.
Well, Karthik, as you were saying earlier, on the racetrack as well, the fact that Ruhan Alva, who starts off this on pole position, Ruhan's got a healthy lead in the overall championship, and if he were to win this race, that pretty much would give him a great opportunity to seal the championship race the way things stand. You know, because if you look at the points per se, he's well and truly ahead of the rest of the pack. Ruhan's got 80 points. With 56 points, Jaden Pariat, his teammate from M Sport, is second, a good 24 points behind him.
So as you say, mathematically he's still in with a chance as Jaden Parrott, but if you look at it practically, logically, then it seems that Ruhan Alva has wrapped it up as far as the Drivers' Championship is concerned. But never say never, and we've learned that from the very first race of this weekend. Courtesy Mika Viduraj never gave up, and in the final corner got that race win. But Ruhan Alva is starting at P1, and his teammate and closest challenger as far as the Drivers' Championship is concerned is starting at P2, so things could get spicy at that first corner of the first lap, Raman. Hopefully it'll be an incident-free race like we saw in the Royal Enfield Continental GT Cup, but remember, this is the Novice Cup category.
Oh yes, and a lot of times we've seen action-packed C1, you know, at the start of the race itself. That's where drivers really try and put in the extra bit of effort, go in with an extra bit of speed, maybe brake late, and that could lead to incidents. It's an extra formation lap that's being done by the cars at the moment, and just putting things into perspective. 10 points here for Ruhan Alva, and if, let's say, you get Jaden Pariat coming in second, he's starting off on P2, and he comes in second, then the gap stretches to 26 points then between Jaden and Ruhan with two.
Which was concerned, but again he was back to his usual 12 at the top of the podium before the end of round 3.
And that happened in a rain-affected race where he crossed the white line while coming out of the pit lane earlier. Then so he crossed that white line coming out of the pit lane, and that's what got him a time penalty and took away a race win. But what it did was it still kept hopes alive for Jaden Pariat to maybe still mount a challenge going into the final round.
So after the extra formation lap, got those tires warmed up. Not that, in this heat here in Coimbatore, you need anything needs warming up. It is 32, 33 degrees with a tad bit of humidity. The track temperature is a slightly bit more. And now all the cars are back at their starting position on the grid after that extra formation lap. We're moments away from the start of this race. So it's an M Sport 1, 2, 3 at the moment as far as the pole positions are concerned.
Oh yes, and all three drivers from M Sport were actually clocking times of under 1 minute and 18 seconds during qualifying. Well, they go off now.
It's a very good start for Ruhan Alva, a decent start for Gaurav Kochar as well. And now coming in on the inside was Aditya Parsuram. He's had a very, very interesting season. Ruhan Alva does what he does best when he's starting at P1, gets a very good start, gets a healthy lead and goes on to take the race lead, followed by his teammate Jaden Parrott in car number 5, and Naeem Rizvi as well keeps his position of the starting grid. That was P3. He remains in the 3rd position. If he does go on and win this race, it does Ruhan Alva, it's pretty much over. In fact, it is over, but if he finishes even in the top 5 also, and if Jaden Parrott wins, then I think even then it might just be over if he finishes within the top 5, because he's got a 24-point lead. If Jaden Parrott wins this race, that comes down to 14, and all he needs then is 6 points from the rest of the pack. But there's a bit of a gap between now the front two. That's Ruhan Alva, Jaden Parrott. Then you have a couple of seconds gap, and then you have Naeem Rizvi, then another second, and then you have the rest of the pack following. So that does tell you that how dominant M Sport have been in this category. And last season also they had a champion from this category who's now in the LGB Formula 4 scheme of things. That's Amir Saeed, he won 12 out of 12. Ruhan Alva had an eye out on that. The safety car will be deployed. The yellow flags are out. There must have been an incident around the track. We'll get you those that visuals if possible. So no more overtaking now, that's for sure. And remember, all the laps behind the safety car are counted in those 10 laps. Family members just watching on. We do see the safety car come out in this category a fair few times. As the confirmation, Ruhan Alva, your race leader, Jaden Parriott second, Naim Rizvi third, Aditya Parsuram fourth, Chetan Suruneni is fifth. And there you see the safety car is out. Chetan Suruneni, remember, started at P6. He's moved up to 5th now. Aman Nagadev, who started at 5th, has dropped down to 6th. The two have exchanged places as far as the positions is concerned. And let's talk about Aman Nagadev and the likes of Aditya Parsuram and Chetan Suruneni, Raman. That they've also had those moments of spark in the season, but just like we saw with Mika Vidura, just weren't able to capitalize on those moments and get the win. And same, I believe, you could say for Chetan Suruneni as well. He was in the mix of things. Aditya Parsuram, Aman Nagadev as well.
Absolutely, yeah. Aman Nagadev especially is a name that comes to mind. He had his opportunities a couple of times in the front row as well. I think he could have probably will look back at the season, lots of learning, lots of things to have taken away from what transpired through the season, what he could have done differently. For the moment, now you're getting a bird's eye view of the Curry Motor Speedway. It's a picturesque setting and the track is absolutely wonderful. Look at how Ruhan Alva strategically held the pack back, waiting for the safety car that will probably go into the pit lane now. So he's got the momentum. Yes, the lights are out. The safety car is going into the pit lane, which means we're going to be back to racing action now. And Ruhan Alva's tactics have worked like a charm. Look at the gap that he's got now between himself and Jaden Parriott as the race resumes.
Wonderfully done there. He just slowed everyone down and then suddenly boom, off he went. And he's got that about close to a second gap between himself and Jaden Parriott. Very, very well done. And I think he won't mind the safety car coming out, or he wouldn't have minded because he knew that he's in the lead. He's done that not once, not twice, but multiple times throughout this season as Ruhan Alva. He knows what to do when the safety car is out and it's about to go into the pits. You hold everyone back and then off you go. Remember, he's an M Sports, so he's learning from some of the best there in Vishnu, Raghu Rangasamy. Both of them former champions. One of them, in fact, is leading the championship race for the LGB Formula 4 category. That's Vishnu Prasad. So he's learning from some of the best, and something that we said about Amir Saeed as well last season.
Oh yes, absolutely. And remember, Amir Saeed had a perfect track. Look at those windmills in the background. Always make for a picturesque sight. But this makes for a picturesque sight if you're a fan of Ruhan Alva. Problems here for one of the drivers. Looks like Dhruv.
Dhruv Goswami there, but thankfully for him, his engine was still on. It was running, and he could now, as you see, turn around and join the race, although he would have lost a lot of places as we come to the end of yet another lap. Lap number 4 coming to an end. Ruhan Alva, your race leader. Jaden Parriott is put in the fastest lap, the first under 1 minute 18, and this is what happens. He's braking a bit too hard there. The tires getting locked up, and he spun. Luckily, there was a bit of gap between the cars that were following him, so they could just maneuver around him, avoid any further damage as the race continues. Jaden Parriott would love to catch up with Ruhan Alva and try and put some pressure, maybe reduce that gap even more. It is around half a second now, 0.609. One slight mistake from Ruhan Alva can hand it to Jaden Parriott on the plate, although I haven't seen much of those from Ruhan Alva throughout this season.
Absolutely. I don't really foresee too much happening there. But look at the best lap time that has been clocked so far. It's been clocked by Jaden Parriott. A time of 1 minute 17.986 seconds that happened in the previous lap. So he is trying to play catch up with Ruhan Alva.
And I think he's trying, and he'll try till the very end. Is that, well, Jaden Parriott, he's one of those young smiley fellows who enjoys racing so much, and he will push Ruhan Alva so much till the very, very end. And it's the first time we've seen in this race that someone's clocked a lap under 1 minute 18. Considering the fact, Raman, that we had 3 M Sport, all of them qualifying with 1 minute 17, and it's only one who's put a similar time out till now.
Well, that's probably because, Karthikeya, you had the safety car come out in just the second lap. So before the tires could get warmed up, the drivers really getting into the groove. You had the safety car out. I dare say 5 laps gone. We're in the 6th lap of the race. You just might see a couple more drivers clocking timings of 1 minute, under 1 minute 18.
And you can see, as you always, Malik, I think 11 out of 10 times you are right. You see, with the Jaden Parriott, Naeem Rizvi, Aditya Parsuram, Chetan Surnani, and Aman Nagdev, 4th lap has been their fastest. So as you know, the tires get warmed up, as they get a clear run without the safety car ahead of them, they will be getting in some quick lap times here. Very, very comfortable for Ruhan Alva at the moment. Remember, he's on 80 points, and that's the looks like the end of the race for Prabhanj Paruchari, the lad from Hyderabad, one of the Momentum Motorsport racers. I see smoke blaring out of the back of his car.
Yes, there was smoke bellowing, and that clearly probably signaled some sort of a problem for the young driver. But I can't see a yellow flag out yet. So the race is continuing as is. And I dare say, since he pulled up close to the curb, I don't think he'll be obstructing the oncoming traffic as they go around, and will be in a position to lap him very, very shortly.
So we're done with 6 laps. We're into lap number 7. And Ruhan Alva, who started at P1, had the race lead, and he's just continued to keep it that way. And he'd love to keep it that way till the very end. And the yellow flag is out. I'm not very sure if the safety car would be needed.
I think it was just out for the corner, Karthikeya, and I dare say it's not going to require the safety car to be brought out, because what Prabhanj had done was he'd actually gotten very close to the curb before he pulled up. So he wasn't really obstructing the traffic. The marshals managed to get the car off the racetrack. So it was just a yellow flag around that corner till the time the car was being removed from the racetrack. I don't think it's going to impact the race at all. There will be no need for a safety car.
Well, that's great then, because makes life easier for the marshals otherwise, just to push the car out of the track and get it onto a safer zone. And they've done that. And now you look at that battle going on between Ruhan Alva and Jaden Parriott. There you are. Ruhan Alva is on the inside, Jaden Parriott on the outside. Parriott number 27 of Ruhan Alva is trying to do all he can. Is Jaden Parriott. He's pushing very, very hard. There's a bit of pressure there. You can see he's trying. There's Jaden Parriott. But Ruhan Alva is maintaining very good lines. But yeah. Yes, he's done it as Jaden Parriott. He's done it. Corner number 5 or 6 comes around and then gets the lead back. Now we have to wait and see how Ruhan Alva responds to this. Onto that back straight. This will be interesting. That's where it happened. Came in on the inside on that corner. Just going slightly wide was Ruhan Alva. He maintained his line there to Jaden Parriott, and Ruhan then came back and, well, didn't last very long, did it?
No, it didn't, because Ruhan Alva has retaken the race lead. While we were showing you the replay of that previous overtaking maneuver, Ruhan Alva is back in the race lead. So that overtaking maneuver for Jaden Parriott gave him the lead for about 7 or 8 seconds. And in the blink of an eye, Ruhan Alva fights back and wrests the lead back.
The back straight to play to his favor, advantage coming through that corner again to end lap number 8. And again, you see, one's on the inside, one's on the outside. Couple of laps remaining in this race. This is very interesting. I think this is something that we will see throughout. Oh, tire to tire, smoke coming out. Remember, they are teammates, but not on the racetrack. They are competitors. And you can see that Jaden Parriott, well, almost there, getting that race lead back. But Ruhan Alva saying and was having none of it. Tremendous from both these young teammates. And as I say, they may be teammates in the garage and in the pits, on the track. It's every driver for himself, and Ruhan Alva wants to win this championship. Jaden Parriott wants to keep the race alive as he now once again tries to come in on the outside. But Ruhan Alva slams shut that door once again.
Now remember, even if Jaden Parriott wins this race and Ruhan Alva finishes second, it'll just be a gap of 2 points between those two, and the overall gap in the championship standings currently is 24. That'll only come down to 22. With 2 races to go, there is no way, if Ruhan Alva, even if he finishes second in this race and Jaden Parriott wins it, Ruhan will still take the championship with 2 races to spare.
He'll have to be outside the podium places with Ruhan Alva, with Jaden Parriott winning for the championship race to be alive. But while we're coming through the final lap, and Ruhan Alva there, what? He's not having none of it, and oh! There's that incident again on that corner. Jaden Parriott going out on corner 1. Will he be allowed to go through straight? Ruhan Alva stays on the track. There he is on your screen. He continues to go through this Coimbatore Speedway. That's what happened there. Jaden Parriott was slightly ahead and was trying to take that left turn, and then that collision with the Ruhan Alva, and not much damage done to Ruhan, thankfully for him, as he continues to go through corner 1, 2, 3, and now he's got a massive lead. And I think it's safe to say that's the end of the championship as far as the Drivers' Championship is concerned.
Well, I wonder if that's going to be an incident that will be reviewed later once the race ends, but for the moment, yes, Ruhan Alva is the man who's got the lead fair and square.
Into the final lap now, final few corners remaining.
And of course, as they head in towards the checkered flag for this race, it's going to be Musa Sharif, who's been the co-driver for Gaurav Gill many a times. He's there waving the checkered flag, as it's going to be Ruhan Alva who takes that checkered flag and notches up a race win here.
Naeem Rizvi comes in second. Aditya Parsuram makes it to the podium as well. And Jaden Parriott, who was gunning for victory, finishes 5th. Well, was a tremendous race, a very good race. But full of drama, full of thrill, full of speed, a bit of safety car as well. But in the end, it was Ruhan Alva who started at P1. He got home taking the checkered flag, and that means he will be crowned the champion of the JK Tyre Novice Cup category. Will be Ruhan Alva. Although we do still have 2 races left, he won't be crowned tonight. But at the end of the season, that'll be the finale tomorrow.
Absolutely, and as I was saying earlier, the checkered flag being shown by Musa Sharif, who's been the co-driver with Gaurav Gill. And they've gone on to won multiple back-to-back rally championships as well. So Ruhan Alva can finally breathe easy. I dare say Jaden Parriott, who's gone on and still finished among the top 5 despite that incident, would be wondering what if.
What if he could have got the race win, but Ruhan Alva will still be crowned champions because he was amongst those points and he would have been in the top 2, top 3. But I have to be, be honest and say a commendable effort there from Jaden Parriott. Not to give up till the very end. He tried his best. We saw at least 3 to 4 times to take the lead away. Was successful once, but that did not last for too long, about 7-8 seconds, and when Ruhan Alva took it back. But I have to say, very entertaining and very well done by Ruhan Alva. He kept his composure, didn't get overawed by the pressure from Jaden Parriott. I think by the end now, with the races are done, that's the confirmation. Ruhan Alva coming in first in the checkered flag. Naeem Rizvi second, and Aditya Parsuram coming in third. So it's an M Sport 1-2 as far as the podium is concerned. Disappointment for Jaden Parriott, who could have been there. Never know, first or second. But delight and pure joy for Ruhan Alva, as he not only wins the race, but wins the championship as well in this category with 2 races to go. So that tells you how dominant he has been throughout this season. A tremendous race there. We've had a great race to start off the day. Another brilliant one. The second race that we just saw. Let's very quickly, talk talk you through and see how things happened in that race. There were a couple of incidents, as I said. There were safety cars, overtaking maneuvers. Let's take you through the highlights. It was a good start there for Ruhan Alva and Jaden Parriott. Two of them starting at P1 and P2 had clear sight in front of them very quickly through that final corner, maintaining that lead. Naeem Rizvi as well, who started at P3, stayed in third. Very quickly the two peeled away from the rest. That's Jaden Parriott and Ruhan Alva. Ruhan was leading at that point of time. Then we had the safety car come out for a little while. That's the safety car I was talking about. Came out when there was a bit of an incident at the back end of the track, but thankfully wasn't out for too long, as just after one lap. And once the safety car was back in the pit lane, the tactics used by Ruhan Alva was brilliant. So, slowed down everyone and then suddenly went off, creating that gap between himself and Jaden Parriott and the others. But Jaden Parriott was having none of it. He knew he had to win and hope that Ruhan Alva doesn't finish in the top four for the Drivers' Championship race to be alive. And then was that battle going on. There was a battle between Chetan Suruneni and Aman Nagdev as well, you saw momentarily. That was the car of Dhruv Goswami, who just spun, braking a bit too hard, but then luckily for him had the engine running. Okay to go on and join the race again. It was Prabhanj Paruchari whose race ended prematurely. There you see coming in through that final corner of yet another lap. Ruhan Alva leading, Jaden Parriott there following him, and Naeem Rizvi coming in third at that point of time. And I think Naeem Rizvi did very well to hold the rest of the pack and give these two a clear run ahead, because he knew he had no chance of winning the championship, so he made sure that his teammates at least had that clear sight and no pressure. That's what happened with Prabhanj Prahuchari. Thankfully for him and for the race, when you saw that smoke coming out of the car, he made sure that he stopped at the corner very close to the curb so that the marshals could very quickly get the car out of any dangerous position and make sure that no safety car was needed. Only a yellow flag for that corner, for that particular corner, and that was sorted out very quickly. There was a bit of incident there when Jaden Parriott took the lead away from Ruhan Alva momentarily, and then this happened in the final lap, and Jaden from second came in fifth, and Ruhan Alva took the checkered flag. Another entertaining race there comes to an end. So Ruhan Alva makes it 9 wins out of 10, moves on to 90 points, and obviously these are all provisional results. They will be subject to post-race scrutiny by the officials. We'll check the footage and see if there was any penalty that would be granted. And there's the man, Gaurav Gill, the first Indian to get an Arjuna Award for excellence in motorsports. Multiple time champion, a man who needs no introduction. A role model, an icon for all these youngsters who will be now joining him on stage as the prize distribution ceremony starts. We got Aditya Parasuram in second, then you got Naeem Rizvi in third, and Ruhan Alva, race winner and the one who sealed the championship with this race win, taking the top spot on the podium. What a moment for these young lads to share the stage, share the podium with someone who's been there umpteenth number of times. Moment they'll remember Standing side by side, Gaurav Gill on the podium. Ruhan Alva, the race winner, and as I said, the championship winner. You can see by the smile on his face, he knows he's enjoyed it, and he knows he sealed it. On the left, in the red suit, racing suit, is Naeem Rizvi. On the right, Aditya Parsuram coming in third. What a moment. And there you are, the champion of the JK Tyre Novice Cup category of the 24th National Racing Championship, and that is Ruhan Alva of M Sport. Gaurav Gill there doing the honours, blessing these young kids with his presence on the podium. So much to learn from for these young kids. Now we'll go down to the distribution area.
With the
We've got
winners,
Raman there.
as far as this particular JK Tyre Novice Cup races. Quick chat with Aditya Parsuram. Aditya, congratulations on a podium finish first and foremost. Just talk us through your race.
Yeah, so we've been struggling in the heat all through the weekend. We've set the car up for the cold, and then all of a sudden it's hot. In the morning it was the perfect temperatures, and now it's hot, and I'm just not able to take care of my tires as good as these guys. So that sums up the race. So,
but nonetheless, you still managed a podium finish. Congratulations on that.
Thank you.
Quick chat with Naeem Rizvi, another youngster from Team M Sport. Congratulations, a 1-2 for your team.
Thank you so much.
And a happy day for you being on the podium.
Yeah, it's good. It's been a long time coming. Every race, I think, let's hope the other two races are like this ever.
Yeah, 2 more to go before we wrap up this year's championship. Just talk us through the battle that was unfolding in front of you.
Yeah, I saw both of my teammates fighting, and in my mind I was like, okay, if something happens, I should be close enough to take advantage of it. I did not know when it was going to happen or something was going to happen or not. I was hoping not, because they were teammates in the end, but then I was hoping I could take advantage of it in the end, and behold.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah, I did. So no, can't be mad about it.
Congratulations on that second place finish.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
And now let's have a quick chat with the champion of the season. With 2 more races to go, we already have a champion in the JK Tyre Novice Cup, Ruhan Alva. Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Ruhan, while the race was on, there was this battle that unfolded between you and Jaden Parrier. For a moment, for a few seconds, he went ahead before you took the race lead back during, I think it was lap number 6 or something. And then there was a whole lot of drama that unfolded.
Yeah, definitely not how we wanted to end the championship with him. It was a good fight. It was respectful till the end, but I guess he misjudged his braking on the last lap, and it went wrong there for him. But it was a really good fight between the two of us.
Yeah, you guys are teammates in the garage, in the team talk and whatever. But your competitors on the racetrack. How good has the competition been for you from Jaden?
It's been good. He's consistently improving, and he's taking the fight to me now. Cars